What's up, y'all? Welcome to the channel. Yeah, I'm Chris, Yeahthatperson, and today is just gonna be a wrench and talk about e-skating things. So today I'm actually swapping out, rotating out tires. I have these green MBS tires. I'm gonna pull them off, and I have my street tires right here. So I have two sets that I can swap if I want to ride this street and, you know, have a little bit more control. Nicer ride. I've got these guys, Quinos, Q-I-N-O. Yo, these things, what are these, 8 inch? Yeah, these are 200 by 50 millimeter wheels. I actually got these tires for $9.99 a piece. And what I've been doing, I go through tires. I buy sets of 6 now, so that when I wear out the back, I can just put freshies on the back and wear out another set, and then I'm theorizing that about that time the front will be worn out and be ready to be swapped. So before we get into that, let's talk about that more. I've already taken the nuts off the rear axle here, but these green tires, I love them. They look really nice. I love the way they match this board, but they wear out so quick. I mean, so quick. And then the thing is, once you wear out the tread and it starts getting thin, you're more likely to pop an inch or two. And that just sucks. One day I was running some bald tires in the back, and I shit you not, I had 3 flats and 1 group ride. Yeah, I got there and had a flat when I got there. Swapped, put a new tube in, my boy Bao hooked it up, and we went riding. I was like, yeah, we're good to go. Literally got 2 more flats on the ride. Thank goodness Bao actually had some spare tires, so we were close to his place. I chilled, he shot to his place and grabbed some Trampa Strikers, yeah, and brought them back, threw them on, and I was good to go. So I learned a very important lesson that day, and that's not let your tires get too bald. So to that, here's some bald ass tires. And I'll show you, I'll take off this back one here. Now I just put these on within the last week, and they are already pretty worn out. 2 weeks ago. So here's 2 weeks of wear. And yeah, you can definitely see the wear there. And then here's the old tires that I had wore all the tread off of completely. And you can just feel they're starting to get thin. So I rotated these guys on about 2 weeks ago. And today we're just gonna swap out and throw on these tires real quick. So, get rid of these. Go ahead and put these on. So other cool stuff that I've been doing, I love this board. It's so fun to make stuff. If you haven't done a DIY yet, you know, what's holding you up? You really should do a DIY if you can and just start on it. It's a great project. You are straight up gonna learn so much. See, this is a left front. I mark all my tires so that I know where they were and where they go back on. So this will be a left front, right rear, left rear, good to go. So, lights, you know, it's DIY, I can do whatever I want. What am I gonna do for lights? Shred Lights does have some nice mountain board lights, and I've been running them on this thing for a while. However, you know, tired of always charging stuff. I mean, what's up? Why should I have to charge my board, my remote, my front shred light 1, my front shred light 2, my rear shred light 1, my rear shred light 2, on top of whatever else that I'm gonna need to charge? So I want it all just integrated. So what we got here is, in the back I got a small LED strip with red LEDs on it, super low watt, but super bright. And it's just a strip that's got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little red LEDs going around it. And I put that on the back of the board, actually around the, holy shit, that was funny. I about put that on there. Should be talking to you guys. I put it around the back of the board on the actual deck at the curb. And then to power it, because this guy's running like, you know, 48, 50 something volts, whatever, depending on the charge, right? Because of that, you know, the LEDs are probably going to run at like 12 volts, most of them you get. Maybe you get some that can run at 24. So I got a small buck converter. I actually got 2 of them off of Amazon. And I set one up in the back. I have been running that for a bit. And I got super freaking stoked, y'all. I mean, super stoked. My boy Aaron catted me up a bracket for me to mount a headlight in the front. It took me a bit to get it done. I did a 3D print, made sure it looked good, everything was gonna line up. But like a 3D print's just not gonna hold up the way I ride. I put a little bit of pressure on it and it just snapped. And I hadn't even put it on the board because I knew it was gonna do that. So one of my colleagues at work is a machinist, and he threw it on and cut out exactly what I needed out of some really hard ass aluminum. There's some numbers to it. He set them, I don't remember. Aircraft grade, super light, super strong aluminum. And it just fits perfectly up here in the front. And then I got the LED light here. As you see here, this is my wiring coming from the back from my electronics box. And with the flip of the switch, bright lights in the back, super bright headlight in the front, right? So I hooked this up to the second buck converter and hooked it up a couple of days ago. And then went out last night to try it, and holy shit, it's bright. I mean, it's just, so it's great. I also carry a tactical flashlight with me when I'm riding at night because it allows me to aim outside of whatever the board's doing. And if you're riding in the street and you're dealing with cars, it's really nice to have that flashlight to be able to shine that shit right in someone's like face. Like, you see the car, you know they're about to run that red light, run that stop sign, they're gonna come out in front of you, whatever. You can just boom, solid, or if you double tap this guy, I think I gotta streamline something. Rechargeable with an 18650 in it. Dope flashlight, I love it. But yeah, if I double tap the button, it goes into strobe mode. And it is so bright, it can totally light up whatever I'm looking at, but it can get people's attention to see me. So anyways, kind of got on a rant there. But back to this headlight, right? So I go out last night and I am so stoked about it. And I've been looking forward to it all day. Can you tell where I'm going with this? So I get out riding and I go down the Sammamish River Trail, jump over a bridge to the other side where it's not lit at and it's all like AT, and start riding over there and having a lot of fun. And this thing is just lighting up the way. Now, it is a little bit low on the board, you know, because I want it to look nice. And being that low to the ground, when it's shining over things, you know, like holes, they're just gonna be dark. So there's still some to be done to make it better and light better. I feel like if I moved it up here to the top and was shining out, you know, that extra 2 to 4 inches where it would be up on the top here would make a big difference into like lighting the path and everything. But I don't want it up there. I mean, I know this is a mountain board. I've already got this big ass battery box here, right? And then I got the electronics box back here. I don't know, if you look at my other boards, I keep the tops of my deck clean. I don't like lights on. Everything needs to be underneath it for me because I want to be able to walk nose to tail. I want to be able to come up here and hang 10 off the front of my boosted or my Evolve. Haven't managed to do it on the Hoyt yet really good because of the way that it rocks back. I mean, I can hang 5 off, no problem, but getting a full-on hang 10 is difficult. If I put the light up here, that wouldn't be possible. And I actually did. It's probably on Instagram somewhere. I don't know. Let's see if I can get the video and put it on here. But anyways, I did do a nice hang 10 off of this one right here. It just started with going at a decent speed, pulling my rear foot out, putting it up here on top of the battery box, and then taking my left foot, placing right about here, and then, you know, getting my toes just hanging off, and then going ahead and hanging out my right foot. Can't do it if I have a light there. Also kind of stoked because this hard ass aluminum might give me a better platform to be able to do it on. I know, I'm crazy. I don't know, it's fun. Yeah, so, oh, what was I at? Oh, so it was working so good. You know, just lighting everything up, and I was going down a trail, and all of a sudden it turns off. And I'm like, oh shit, it just turned off on me. What am I gonna do? And I had my flashlight with me because it was really, really dark, so I wasn't, you know, totally ass out with it. I was able to see still, you know. I could see where I was going and everything, so it's cool. I just kind of like let it chill for a second, and then it turned back on. I was like, okay, cool. Maybe it's a loose wire. And it did it a couple of more times, and I was like, oh man, it must be a loose wire. And how's it a loose wire? I check my stuff, and I make sure I do a really good job, and I really try. So I turned it off for a minute, rode a little bit more, and I turned it back on, and then it did it again. It came on for a minute, and then it turned off, and then it turned on, you know, and it was really dark out, and I didn't want to get into working on the board. I was only like maybe a mile away from the house. So I was just gonna come back here and check it out, you know, and see what was up with it. But I did try just doing some jumping to see if like, if I jumped with it, if it would do any wiggling of the wires, but it didn't. So I went ahead and I know where all my stuff is mounted inside the box. So my ESCs are on the bottom, and all my other electronics are up here on the top, and they're mounted with 3M tape to it, and then held in by a rubber retainer piece that comes with the Pelican box. These things are dope. So on the top, I have a few things. You know, I have my remote. I have this power switch here. I've got my meter Pro app, my Meter Pro module for the meter app in there. And then I have the 1-buck converter over here, so I added the other one over here. And I thought, maybe I'm overheating this buck converter. So I put my hand down on it, and yo, it was hot. So cut the power off to all the lights, and just rode home with a flashlight. I got back here, and it was definitely hot. This is the cheap buck that failed on me. And it was just sizzling hot, as far as like to the touch, through the Pelican case and everything. And then when I actually opened up the Pelican case to see what was going on, I pulled back my little retainer piece, and there's a piece of foam that I have in there to help, you know, dampen any vibrations and hold shit in place. The foam had some imprints on that looked like heat melty imprints. And that guy that I just showed you, that buck, was wrapped in shrink tubing, heat shrink, right? Like I had a nice big fat piece of heat shrink, so I do all of my soldering with the heat shrink down. Once it's done, pull the heat shrink up, hit it with a torch or the heat gun or whatever, and then I do the sticky tape up. The heat shrink was totally melted off. So then I thought about it, and I went and actually looked at the numbers. So here's the lesson. Check your numbers. So my numbers I'd already checked on that rear one. I just bought this light. It was like, oh, I got an extra buck. So that thing is like, I think 0.5 watt, maybe a 1 watt max. I think it's a 0.5. Maybe it's a 0.5 watt buck. And then it can do like a 1 to 1.5 watt surge. This guy, I'm sorry, amp. It's a 0.5 amp buck, and it can do a 1.5 amp surge. This light alone is 30 watts, which is like 3 to 4 amps. So I was definitely overrunning that thing the whole time. So what I ordered on Amazon is a waterproof voltage step down deal for a golf cart, because they run on some big ass batteries too, and this guy can do 50, 60, it can do up to 60 volts, and it's gonna step it down to the 12 that I need, and then I'll put that up here to this guy, and it's just gonna run on a separate buck itself, which I'm guessing I'll probably have to mount it here somewhere. It would make sense here, because I got room in the box. just on the outside here. Because it's going to generate heat, I don't want to stick it in the battery box. And I think it's too big with the other stuff that I have back here to stick in. And since it's waterproof, I don't really care if it gets wet. And it's got like an aluminum heat sink case on it as well. So pretty stoked about all that stuff. Cool. So I got my tires on here. The other stuff, planning. The other thing is I'm planning this badass trip with my buddy Aaron. I'm super stoked about it. So sometime in the coming months to be figured out, we're going up to the Olympic Peninsula and we're gonna park and ride a bunch of backwoods trails along the Olympic Peninsula up there near the Straits of Aaaand and Fuka, and we're gonna go down to Crescent Lake and kick it and camp and then ride back out. So I want to say it's like 25, 28 miles in and then about the same back out. So it's gonna be a really, probably a challenging ride because it's gonna be all AT, I believe. Which is actually why I'm taking these off, because I want to preserve the tread I have until we do that trip. I may just end up ordering new tires. So anyways, that's what's up with me. I got a bunch of cool stuff going on. We're gonna do a project with the Evolve. I got these badass motor heat sinks for the Evolve, and I'm just waiting on a motor from Evolve. They've been on like sold out, and you can't get them for like a month now, and I have a burnout motor. It's like unusable, the board is, because the fucking motor's trash. So the Evolve is gonna be badass. We're putting those heat sinks on it. We got a torque mod, gear mod for the motors as well to make it a better AT with more torque. Might put that on, might not. I might want to keep it like street rippable. But I've got these badass skate castle motor mounts and whatnot that are going to go on the back. They're going to match some nice little lime green hubs that I got, and then I'm redoing the grip tape. Splatter Goat's going to hook that up, and we're going to redo this all again and make it look beautiful. That's what I got going on with that. Yeah, love you guys. So let me know how you're doing in the comments below. If you have any questions, let me know. I'd love to cover them. Yeah, if you're in the area, hit me up. Let's ride.